Alright guys, I was like, I really need to just post something short this time so that I can post more consistently. And so today's message is just going to be what you really needed to hear for today. If you are drawn to this message, it's for a reason. It was set with that intention that what I say today is going to align with your heart and soul. Okay, so first we have, what is that? I can't read Roman numerals, so I have to count the cups. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that's a cup in her hand or, you know, guys, does it? Let's see. I need to freaking check the book. Just like I had suspected, it is 7. It is a cup in her hand. So this is, by the way, from the Mean Girls Tarot deck. So if you recognize this scene, let me know. So what's coming to mind from this scene? You've been feeling very alone in this world because you haven't found, you know, your people, your soul tribe yet. And that is because there is a lot of unhealed wounds, right? A lot of experiences and personal growth and development that needs to happen first before you can align and, you know, manifest that into your physical reality. Like you need to like have a little bit more grace for yourself and the people around you for the fact that like everybody else is also so unhealed, and that's why you feel like such a black sheep, right? This is for the black sheep of the family or the friend groups, you know, or just like the world in general, you know, like you really feel alone in this world. You're like pleading to people to be like, why can't we all just get along, you know, and like in sunshine and rainbows and like love, and like why can't we all just recognize and awaken to the fact that we're all connected and we all come from the divine, right? And it's like the divine wants to remind you, source wants to remind you that like we're not all meant to remember in this lifetime, and this isn't meant to be a sort of punishment for you, the fact that you're alone. It's choose to see this period, it's just a temporary period of what's the word, sanctuary, of independence, of sovereignty. This temporary period, no, but sovereignty should not be temporary. So what's the word? Solitude. Thank you, source. Yes, so this temporary period of solitude is meant for you, for it is a gift for your own growth, right? For you to realize that like I'm worthy of love and being seen, even if everyone is looking at me as like a freak, even if I'm the weird one to everyone else, and you know, nobody agrees with me, nobody's supporting me, like I still deserve to like get up on that stage and to share, you know, my truth and how I feel, and you know, manifest my dreams into reality. Like this is happening, this is a gift so that you could heal that part of yourself that feels like you need that outward validation for you to be worthy of stepping into your highest reality, right? And making your dreams come true, basically. All right, and so this was 3 cards that all fell out together. So the next card we're going to go over is this one. You have the 4 of Cups. You have the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so you're too busy focusing on your flaws and imperfections, right? You're like too zoomed in on like every little flaw, and like the more that you zoom in, the more that you get like sucked in, and you just get lost in like this, and then like all you see is negativity, all you see is the flaws, right? And so it's like your guides are asking you to zoom out, big picture a little bit. I just did a journaling exercise right before this where I was called to journal about gratitude, and I felt like, you know what, even though I'm struggling and I'm questioning life and I want to return back to source and just give up, you know, I can look back at my old self and be proud of myself, of how far that I've come, because I know that the old me would have been even more crushed, or you know, the spirals would have lasted so much longer. And you know, like there's still growth. Even though I'm not where I want to be, there's still a lot of growth to commend and congratulate myself for, to be grateful for, right? So they're asking you to be grateful for yourself, even if other people are like saying, hey, that's not something to be grateful for, right? Like be grateful for yourself and have grace for yourself first and foremost, and just like love anyway, love yourself anyway, even if you're scared, even if you feel so ugly and so unworthy. Know that love is unconditional. Remind yourself consistently that love is unconditional, and to override all of the limiting beliefs, right? With the reminder that you are deserving, you are worthy of self-love. And in fact, it is necessary. It is not just you are worthy and deserving. It's like it is necessary for you to be happy. You deserve to be happy, right? This is bare minimum. This is like a birthright. It's all of our birthright. We come from the divine, and the universal law is love. But there's so many shitty things that happen because we're underneath it all, right? We are immortal beings at our core. We are energetic. We are beings of energy, right? Our souls, right? We never die. We just transform into a different form, a different life. And because of that, you know, then it's like, if you know that and remember that, then it's like, okay, well, you know, it makes sense that all these crazy things happen, you know, like, because when you think about human nature, we really do need, like, change only comes from consequences and from, like, actually becoming aware to all the darkness that's around you, and that darkness has to build up into some big explosive cataclysmic event for you to be like, oh shoot, maybe I do need to change, because otherwise you're going to be like, well, if I don't have to, then I won't, you know. It's like, so we do need, like, consequences, right? All right, so choose to see everything as a gift. Everything is a good thing, right? Even the consequences, the failures and the mistakes, they were, and the rejection, it's just redirection towards lessons, right? And lessons are the things that get you to, you know, what you want, or it brings the fulfillment when you, the satisfaction when you do get what you want. Because if you get what you want without the lessons, it's kind of like, oh, you know, this is it, like, you know, what else is there? Because just like when you play video games, right, it's not satisfying if it's too easy, if the life is too easy. So try to, like, you get bored if you're not challenged enough. So try to remember that you are a lot stronger than you think, and like all of these challenges, all of these flaws are opportunities for your own self-growth and development. For you, it's a chance for you to, like, love yourself even more, right? Because there's all of these subconscious ways in which we don't realize we're carrying so much trauma still, and self-hatred. Yeah, because good things are coming your way. This is the third and last card of this. Good things are coming your way, and as long as you stay consistent with whatever it is that brings you joy and is your passion, you will succeed. You will succeed. And you just have to trust that, and you just have to be okay with that initial period of, like, being such a mess, you know, and, like, turn your mess into a message. And that is a part of what makes it so powerful, right? When the video game is so, like, very challenging, it makes it even more satisfying. You feel more powerful, you feel more smart, or whatever, because you overcame it, right? So choose to see it as that. Choose to see it as that. Yes, like, you can make your dream goals a reality, right? Yeah, and it can come in a lot faster than you think, right? You change your beliefs, you change your actions. So you change your beliefs, which changes your actions, and that changes your reality. So changing our reality can really happen a lot quicker than we think, but it has to first start with internally rewiring our limiting beliefs. Oh shit. All right. And then when I was, you know, picking out these cards, and I was trying to, like, reorganize the deck, these two also fell out. So I was like, all right, I'll take that as part of the message as well. You have the Strength in the Hermit, and I kind of already touched on this, but yeah, these cards are basically saying that you are a lot stronger than you think, and I can so relate to these cards. I mean, I'm a Virgo. And I have crippling anxiety and depression for my whole life, and so I have, like, just been like a crippled hermit, a crippled introvert, you know. Like, it's like everybody has introversion or, like, anxiety, like, everyone has that, but it's like a crippling level. So, you know, so I feel like these people who are attracted to this video, you know, you're probably my people who have that similar sort of struggles. And I tell you what, it is hard, right? And you just sometimes you just have to, like, hype yourself up, right? You have to hype yourself up and be like, yeah, fuck, what did he say in that show? Right, like this character, right? It's like, y'all all see me as a nerd, y'all see me as some sort of, right? But let me show you this new side. Like, let me show you the real me. Like, I've been holding back. Like, I was just trying to, like, fit in, and, like, sometimes you just gotta practice hyping yourself up and being your #1 cheerleader and having that be good enough. Practice doing that more and more. It'll get easier. I think do that in the comfort of your own home more and more. And if, you know, for people like us, I think that's what's going to gradually make us more and more comfortable to, you know, so that, because if we try to make things can change very quickly for us, right? But the quicker the change is, the more uncomfortable it is, and the more likely that we're able to self-sabotage the situation. Yeah, so it's your time. It's your time to stop taking backstage and to stop standing backstage, hiding backstage, take center stage, because you're a star, is what I see. You're a star. You have a lot of love to give, is what I'm getting. You have a lot of love to give, and that's why you're like, I needed to protect myself, because like, I am such a self-sensitive soul in this cruel world, you know. And then, you know, I think a lot of people go through this, and even the meanest people, I'm sure that they've gone through that, and they've experienced the bullying, the aggression, the abuse, and that's why they do it and continue the cycle, because they've internalized it and they identified with it. And I think when you're around it consistently, even as adults, like, it is just inevitable that you identify with what you're around. And so first we got to focus on breaking that cycle of toxic shame. So when you're doing this, be very mindful of if you're becoming very critical and judgmental of yourself, and give yourself all of the forgiveness that you need to mediate all of that toxic shame and guilt over the fact that you went into hiding and, sort of closed off of your light and your heart for so long. It's okay. It's never too late. You did what you had to do. Now it's time to take a look around and be like, wait, is this who I really want to be? And it's like we don't really want to be the hermit, right? It's like we're doing this to protect ourselves, but source is reminding you that you don't need to anymore, that you are like spiritually protected and being guided to rip your shirt off and become the MC, like, you know what I mean, metaphorically, like just step into your power, step onto that stage, like if you want to be somebody. I feel like these people watching my video want to be, similar to my own energies, where you have a lot of love to give, you have a lot of wisdom to share, you have a lot of like something you want to do in the entertainment, maybe. Yeah, and so this is God's sign for you that you can make it happen. You are worthy of making your dreams come true, no matter how crazy it may be. Like, oh, I never even dabbled into it. And like people who are usually successful, they're in it from when they were kids. And so, not all of that is limiting beliefs, stories that we tell ourselves to limit ourselves, right? And if when you trust that the universe, the laws of the universe is love, right? Then you know that all limitations are an illusion. Right, but it's not to say that you can do anything, right? Sometimes what we want or what we try to do is not really in our highest good, like we think it is. But we have to trust. We have to take a step back and trust that the universe knows better. The universe can see better, right? So if something isn't working out, trust that it is for your highest good. All right, or trust that something just needs a little bit of adjustment. Like it is. Everything is a sign for your highest good. Your life is happening for you, not to you, right? And to get out of that victim mindset, right? And to forgive yourself for being in this hermit stage for so long and having to be in there for so long, and to stop telling yourself that limiting belief that like you were in this position because you're weak. Not true. Spirit is confirming, far from the truth. All right, it's just you didn't have the right people around you to nurture your soft, sensitive, loving energy. Like what I'm getting is you haven't been or found the right environment in which you feel safe, emotionally safe enough to thrive. And, that's why I was coming up in the beginning, that there's a deep sense of sadness and loss and like longing for your soul family. So it's also very important to remind yourself that the fact that you haven't met them yet doesn't mean that you're unlovable or unworthy of having and receiving that. It just means that it's because you have never had that, right? You took on all of the things that are on the opposite end of the spectrum and vibration, and therefore placing all of these blockages, challenges, wounds to heal first in order for you to get there. And I want you to know that these very wounds and challenges are exactly what your higher self specifically chose for you to be faced with when stepping into your power, right? Because this is the game of life, right? We came here to be challenged because we are literally immortal, right, in the spirit world. So we come here to be like super challenged. All right, so so challenge yourself and forgive yourself for not having known it. You didn't have the blueprint, the healthy blueprint, and it's time. It's okay to give it to yourself, to educate yourself on psychological, like mental health, and like how your own trauma and how you got the way that you are and how you can heal that, because all of these things were taught to us from a young age, right? Like love, self-love, and hatred, right? All of these are taught behaviors because we start off as neutral, right? And because God doesn't want to take the power away from us. We came here to see, what we would do. We have the free will to choose between good and bad, right? And so you're being called not to see yourself as a victim to your circumstances, and to not identify anything that happens to you or anything about yourself as negative. And it's not conceited. And it may seem delusional as well, but delusion is like the beginning stage of the manifestation, because if you want to attract and manifest something that's completely opposite from the reality that you're currently living, you have to sort of like just totally rewrite reality in your own head, even though reality outside of you hasn't caught up yet. But this is also part of that challenge to awaken us to the fact that we are co-creators with the universe of our reality. It's like you're finally seeing yourself for who you really are, right? right? And that doesn't mean that you totally ignore and negate and don't acknowledge the past or the negativity, the toxicity, right? Or the things that you need to heal still, you know. That's not the case. It's to say that, like, I may be imperfect, but I'm still worthy of love anyway, right? I may be imperfect. You may all like judge me because it's so different from what you know, but I'm finally ready to like show my true self, you know? Even in the face of possible rejection, this is also a very strong message, and I've been getting serendipitous messaging about this as well, that there's a huge wound around rejection and the way that we're perceived, right? Because our society is very ego-driven, right? We're like programmed and wired to think this way. So that's also something that Source is saying to specifically, intentionally take a hard look at consistently every time that the feelings and anxiety comes up around having to be seen, basically, because the fear of being seen is tied to the fear of rejection. And when we fear rejection, that's what keeps us hidden, right? That's what keeps us feeling like we need to continue to dim our light to protect us. But no more. It's time. It is your time, and you're ready. Because even if you don't feel ready, right, it's not about feeling ready, but about feeling worthy. Because if you know that you're worthy, you're gonna still do it. You're gonna love yourself anyway, even if you're scared, right? You're gonna go after your dreams, even if you feel like it might be hopeless and the chances are low, right? It's worth a shot. You're worth a shot. You're worth the investment. You're worth the chance, the opportunity. Your happiness is, your fulfillment is. And yeah, that's what they want to make this a goal around. So that's what you're being called to prioritize right now, is your own fulfillment through authenticity, right? The embodiment of self-love, no longer performing, no longer people-pleasing, and no longer feeling like a victim in this world. And instead of feeling like being a black sheep is a negative thing, see it as a powerful thing. That means that you are a lot more powerful than you think. It doesn't mean that you're higher and better, and there's nobody's higher and better, right? It's just that you're at a different state of consciousness, that you can be thankful for, because it brings different levels of consciousness to bring about different experiences, different opportunities, and you're ready for new experiences now. You're ready for more healing, more empowering experiences and opportunities. All right, but in order to receive that, we need to first know that we're worthy and forgive ourselves for not believing in that in the first place, right? Just have grace. Today's message is to keep going after what you love and believe in, while having grace for yourself. Because you stay consistent, and I guarantee, Source guarantees that you will succeed. Right? Because if you stay consistent and you're following your joy in alignment with your authentic core beliefs and values, then you will succeed. It is inevitable. Tell yourself that it is inevitable. Because your joy, your divinity, your abundance is your birthright, simply because of your inherent divinity. Right? And this is something that we all have access to. But not all of us are meant to become awakened to this, because those who are not awakened, they also serve a higher divine purpose of triggering an awakening in those who are meant to, right? By being such a negative or dark contrast, right? It doesn't mean that it's lower, right? In fact, it's just as important to have the negativity exist, right? Because just like I said, we need consequences, human nature, right? If we don't have that fire under our butt, we're going to be like, take the easy route. If we feel like that's an option, we will take it, right? Convenience, right? Like, we love convenience. That doesn't always serve us all the time. So choose to love yourself, choose to believe that love exists in this world, even when you don't see it around you, even when you don't feel it in yourself. Like, just keep walking it till you talk it. You know what? Keep faking it till you make it. And eventually you will really believe it, right? Because that's also a very natural process, a stage in the healing journey, where you have to go through that period where you fake it till you make it, right? Because there's a like, okay, well, I understand that this is healthier for me, I understand that this is better for me, but right, we still gravitate towards what's familiar, towards what's comfortable, even though it may not be healthy for us, even though it may be harmful to others, right? We still choose it because it's comfortable. So yeah, it's about no matter the circumstances, it's about building this like foundation of like internal wealth, internal security, right? That just like you are your number one support system. You are the number one source of your own love, and of your own validation and acknowledgement. right? Yes, right. Like if you fuel yourself off of your own inner self-love, you will succeed. Self-love, embodying self-love and authenticity is the key to success, and consistency as well. Yeah, right. So it's a lot of things. We're all over the place. This is a part of human nature. That's okay, right? And that's unconditional love, right? Saying that it's all okay. Even like no matter in the face of any circumstances or any flaws, like we just continue to choose love anyway. Believe and believing that love exists, believing that there is something good to come of everything, right? Because what you believe is what you manifest, right? And like the belief of beliefs, right? The more you believe something, the more it becomes true. It's one of those things. All right, okay, yeah. So actually wrapping it up so it stays a short video. All right, guys. So it's all about rewiring your limiting beliefs into empowering ones consistently, no matter the circumstance, no matter the imperfection, the flaw, the mistake, the failure. Love yourself through it all. All right, you will succeed. You will get to where you want to, and that is manifesting your dream reality. It is possible. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.